Good evening. Good evening. It is 6 o'clock and it's Monday. It's President's Day and it's also time for Lens on Real Estate. I want to welcome our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Diann Scott. I'm an real estate broker, associate broker that is, and a realtor. And I'm affiliated with Scott Realty Professionals, which is one of the premier brokerages here in Savannah, Georgia. So think about you being in a studio, which we are in right now. We're in a studio, media studio. Think about yourself being in a studio, lots of cameras, lots of angles that you can look at through those cameras. Well, that's what the concept of Lens on Real Estate is. We're going to be showing our audience the various phases of the real estate industry and getting a bird's eye view of those different angles, different views of the industry itself, because it is a myriad. It's not just about buying and selling, but a lot goes into the buying and selling of real estate. But one of the main things and the main thought about it as well is that we want to talk to our audiences about building generational wealth. And one area of doing that is through the buying and selling of real estate. A part of the real estate industry, though, is like I said, a myriad of activities, and associations are an important part of that, the activities in the real estate industry. So our guest today is one of the premiers, from the president rather, of one of the premier organizations, National Association of Real Estate Brokers. She, however, is the president of one of the local chapters, and that local chapter is in Atlanta, and it's called the Empire Board of Realtors. But before I bring her on to speak with you, because this is going to be a great topic, before I bring her on, I do want to pay homage. I want to pay homage to a realtor in Savannah, Georgia, that passed away in November of last year, November 22nd, 2022 to be exact. And his name is Mr. James Carthon. Carthon Realty was a premier real estate agency in Savannah back in the 60s, 70s, mid 80s, and pretty much up until he became up in age, when he probably could no longer do it anymore. But Mr. Carthon ran Carthon Realty for over 45 years here in Savannah, Georgia. And I'm looking at my notes here. Mr. Carthon came to Savannah from Thomaston, Georgia. He went to Savannah State, go Tiger, and he played football. That's how he got to Savannah State, through his football scholarship, I would imagine. And then he's a part of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. But after college, he began his real estate career. And as I said earlier, he spent 45 years in the real estate industry here in Savannah. And not only that, Mr. Carthon became the first vice president of the local NAACP, and he served on the Housing Authority of Savannah Board, the Chatham County Zoning Board of Appeals, and he was also chairman of the Political Advisory Council and also the NAAC Board of Directors. He was also on Chatham Savannah Metropolitan Planning Committee and on the Save the Charity Hospital Committee, as well as the treasurer of the St. John Housing and Development Board. As you can see, Mr. Carthon was very, very busy during his time here. So again, we want to pay homage to him and offer condolences to his family, and particularly his daughter, Michelle Carthon, who is and has followed in her father's footsteps. She continued the legacy of Mr. Carthon, wherein there still is a Carthon Realty, and she is the broker there. So once again, condolences to Michelle Carthon. Moving on, I want to talk about one other thing here. I understand that there's a Dave & Buster's. That's some real estate, some big real estate that's going to be showing up in Savannah, in Chatham County. Poolers, Alderman approved the fact that they can now begin preparations for building a Dave & Buster's here in Savannah, Georgia. In terms of the real estate market in Savannah right now, I looked at our MLS, our multi-list system today. The market is, I would say, warm. We're still in the throes somewhat of a seller's market. We have 2.3% of houses for sale in the market right now. an average, well, 2% as far as the number of houses that are on the market. Um, the average number of houses that typically are on the market, we have 6 months worth. So it's 2.3 months worth on the market right now. So again, we're still in somewhat that seller's market. I would say a warm seller's market. It's not on fire the way it has been, but we're still in the seller's market. And homes are staying on the market for just under 45 days. To be exact, 43 days homes are on the market. Typically, homes are on the market for 90 days. In a balanced market, homes usually are on the market for at least 90 days. So that's a bit of information I wanted to share with the audience. So right now, we're going to jump on in and bring Archie Emerson, Madam Archie Emerson, onto the studio, and we're going to be talking with her. Hello, Madam Archie Emerson. How are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Thank you for agreeing to come on here and share with us information about one, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and two, the Empire Board, the mighty Empire Board of Atlanta, of which you're the president of. Now, one thing before we get started, though, just like the CEO asked when we were talking to him earlier, I know people are curious. Where'd she get that name Archie from? So
I
tell
don't
our
know what
audience,
next.
tell them
All I
about
can
the name
tell,
Archie.
hey, all I can tell people, I am the 11th of 12 kids, and my
Mm.
mom had just ran out of names, and her cousins say, "Would you name your next child after me?" She thought I would be a boy. Unfortunately, I became a girl. I was a girl, and she still gave it to me.
Oh my,
So
she kept the promise, huh?
she kept the commitment and the promise, and there it is. My name is Archie, and it has been it's a blessed name. It's a good name. So it's a door opener.
Absolutely, I'm sure. Like you say, it's a conversation breaker. That's for sure.
Yeah. So they do expect a man to come in the room, and then here I come.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, we're going to get into talking a little bit about you and your career before we really get on into NAREB and the board, the Empire Board. Based on what I read about you and your resume that you sent to me, 30 years. That's a long time in the industry, and you've been in the industry for 30 years. So step back and tell our audience a bit about your path into this real estate world.
Well, like you said, I've been in the real estate industry for 30 years. And actually, honestly, that was not my first calling. That's what I thought. I moved to Atlanta 36 years ago and decided, well, I was working at Georgia State. I liked that job. I was one of their uh, youngest and first moving meeting coordinators. So I form business meeting for them.
Mm.
And I end up, my department got cut out during the Reagan's era. And so I tried to figure out what was I going to do next. And a friend said, well, won't you get your real estate license? My
Mm.
family do own a real estate business in LA. Knowles and Morgan is one of the first Black real estate offices in LA, and it's
Oh, is that
located on Winchester. So, but this still wasn't what I thought I would be doing. So I decided to get my license, and I ran into a broker that allowed me to do a for sale by owner home with him, and he thought that I would be a great broker. And it didn't end it up real good because I refinanced my home, and I went with a company called Fleet Finance. If everybody knows that, years ago, I had a
Mhm.
29% interest rate.
Oh my
And
goodness.
just because I didn't know any about it. I did not know any about it. So I decided to finish up my real estate and buy that whoever client was mine, that they would be well educated and they would understand the journey from renting to home ownership, and that I just would not allow them to be affected that way with high interest rate, that I
Mm.
wanted them to be in something that they could afford.
Wow.
So I'm doing it ever since.
Interesting. Now, back then, now you said you got the broker's license. Now, I know today it's a 3 year. You become a real estate agent, and then we have to wait 3 years before we can take that broker exam. Was it the same then?
It was same then. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you apply for it 2.5 years after your second year, and
Mhm.
then your third year you could become a broker.
Okay. And your brokerage is called, you're the managing broker of Dedicated Realty Inc. in
Yes.
Atlanta. Okay. Are there other brokers or just you or other
It's
agents
just,
rather?
it's just, yeah, it's just me and my sons and
Okay.
my partner, real estate partner, that operated out of my brokerage. So I've
Oh,
been to three brokerage in my 30 years, and I decided that it was time to launch my own brokerage. And so in October 2018, I made that happen.
okay. Well, that's the year I became a real estate agent, with 2018. Yeah. And then last year, January 2022, after that 3 years had expired, I went ahead and took the broker exam. So now I'm an associate broker. So
Oh,
good
okay.
thing. Okay. Do you, what would you say the advantages are of having the brokerage as opposed to, because you have it's you and your sons, you say, right? Are
Yes, me
they?
and
Okay.
my real estate partner.
Okay. So it's four of you. Okay. So what do you feel advantage of is of being having your own brokerage?
Well, I don't know if there's an advantage or disadvantage because all of this work. A broker is one that oversees your brokerage and makes
Mhm.
sure that agents and other associate brokers are doing what they supposed to when it comes to following the guidelines of the real estate commission. So it's no different. It's just that I don't have a lot of agents or brokers that I have to oversee, other
Yeah.
than making sure my sons or my business partner are doing what they're supposed to do. But
Yeah.
in 30 years, my sons have been raised up in this industry because my oldest one is 36. So he was only 6 years old when I started doing real estate. So they don't know any other world other than that.
Sounds like it. Well, that's good. Hey, that's a part of this legacy building thing. So that sounds like what's happening over there in the Emerson household. Um, Now, it says here that you're also the branch manager of NAREB's investment division and also the housing counseling agency. Tell us about those two groups.
Well, NID is a HUD affiliate office. So I am a licensed HUD certified counselor. So in
Okay.
order to run an agency, uh, about 4 years ago, they changed the law and you had to be certified. So you have to take these different courses, just like you do real estate. But it's a combination of different things that you must know,
Mm-hmm.
from being a financial advisor to understanding the mortgage to budgeting, all of that. So you have to take these courses and pass the exam, and you become certified. And allow me to run a branch. So I'm if you look up on the HUD and look for NIDHCA Emerson, you will locate my office, which is located in College Park. So there are two different entities. My brokerage is ran in a different office, and the NID Housing Council is ran out of another one. So they have different hours.
Okay.
So, but that is probably my biggest passion is, counseling people and making sure they understand the transitioning from renting to home ownership, that it's the beginning of building financial wealth through home ownership. Uh, that in our community, they have different myths about credit but society is so credit driven now that they must have great credit. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
how much money you have. Most people, unless you're going to pay cash for it, they want to run that credit to see where you are, and you should have a privilege in having great credit.
Right. And I do see, though, in looking at and doing my research, I see where the president of NAREB is something they're suggesting that they kind of eliminate that type of thing from holding people back with, they want everybody to be on an equal footing when it comes to home buying, because back years ago, that's the way it was, but that was before blacks were really allowed, or well, the Fair Housing Act was passed. So it was allowed back then, but once fair housing passed, other obstacles got in the way. So the
Well,
the
yeah, and still having fair housing, and a lot of people don't even know that housing counseling even exists. You know,
mhm,
went from rental counseling to financial counseling to you know, housing counseling, even post counseling, even after you buy a home. What
mhm,
happens 6 months? You know, what happened if I can't make my payment? It's just that people don't realize that we are free to the public if you fall
mhm.
low to moderate income families. So we the best kept secret, I said, since 1968 when we came into existence.
Okay. Sounds great. Sounds great. We got to, well, by joining NAREB or and becoming a realtist, those are some things that our realtist, which is what we're going to be talking about later on, membership into NAREB, and those that be an agency that we would certainly want to learn more about and talk more about. Um, Now, you have a number of other certifications besides that. You have Freddie Mae Certified Credit Smart Specialist. You have VA Relocation Housing Specialist, Financial Advisor, and Financial Coaching Certification. So that's a whole lot of certifications that you do have there. So tell us about the
Well,
now the VA Relocation Housing Specialist. Is that the same as MRP or is that different? The
well,
military.
it's yeah. So I had an MIP two
Mm-hmm,
certification.
MRP.
So
Mm-hmm.
and that's just understanding how veterans move when they inside the military, how they
Okay.
move from location to location, and you bet you can understand the terms that you have to talk with them when they having to relocate from one location to another. So I have that certification to be able to help them
Okay.
transition from one unit to another.
To another.
So
Okay.
just helping veteran in general. Some don't understand how do they use the process of buying a home. So having
Mm-hmm.
that process, if they want to move from one location to another, if they want to sell their property to another veterans, how they get the eligibility release. So it's just to me having the knowledge to help all my clients, whether they're veterans or just a regular person trying to buy.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Now let's move on and segue on into NAREB, the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and we don't get that confused with NAREB. Is
Nara,
yeah, NARA, and that is the National Association of Hispanic Brokers. Is
yeah.
that correct? Okay,
Mhm.
so NAREB is what we're going to talk about, and that's what's significant too. There are other associations, and they're not to be, nobody else can join. It's just that they're designed to more or less cater to a particular culture and, have common interests and common, I would say, issues that might arise in the various associations. And that's part of the reason why NAREB was established. So tell us about NAREB. How long have you been? One, you're a member, of course. How long have you been a member?
I've been a part of NARAB since 1995.
Wow,
That's
early on.
when it's NARAB.
Okay.
And another broker brought me into Empire Board,
Mm-hmm.
and said they felt like my vision need to be a part of Empire Board. And once you became a part of Empire Board, you also became a part of NARAB. So
NAREB.
NARAB was created after Empire Board, which was
Mm-hmm.
created in 1947.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it is our mother. We was
Okay.
created in 1939 for the necessity right here in the Metro Atlanta area. But
Mm-hmm.
NARAB served the United States. So there are many other boards around the United States, from Texas to California to New Jersey, Memphis, Ohio. We have numerous other chapters around the state.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And let's talk about when you said the Empire Board was started prior to NAREB. Now, that huge case that went to the Supreme Court, was that before NAREB or that was after NAREB?
After NAREB, but they was dealing with the MLS here in the state of Georgia, where at the time MLS would not allow blacks to be able to get listing
Mm-hmm.
for a part of MLS. So that was sued, and it, as you know, went to the Supreme Court, and Empire Board ended up winning.
Winning. How big was that? That was
That was
monumental.
crazy.
Monumental.
So
Absolutely.
Empire Board alone has a lot of legacy,
Mm-hmm.
a history uh, for it. Even before Jimmy Carter became president, he had attended to Empire Board's gala.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, being that this is Black History Month, I'm glad we got you here to talk about a little bit about that history of NAREB. Now, last year you guys celebrated, NAREB celebrated 75 years.
Yes.
75 years. Did you go to the gala? Where was that at?
That was in Florida. We was in Florida, back to the place where it originally was formed.
Yeah,
So they
which is
celebrated.
Tampa.
Yeah, so we were back in Tampa. It was amazing, and we are still celebrating to the to this July. So the celebrations still continue on as we celebrate the history and the legacy that the National Association of Real Estate Brokers have done over the years to help break barriers. Even though we still have many to break down, still
Mhm.
they're just history of ones that we've already accomplished.
Absolutely. And Lydia Pope is the current president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And where you are? Is it headquartered in DC still, or where's the headquarters?
It is in D.C.,
It is in DC. Okay.
and Madam Lydia Polk is the third. There's out of the 75 years, there's only been three women president, and she is the
Wow.
third. And if the Lord say the same, Courtney will come in. Courtney Rose Jones will come in as the fourth woman president ever for NAREB.
And how many presidents have there been? 35 or how many? About
Yes,
35 or so. Okay. Wow. And the third woman is Lydia Pope, and the
yes,
president elect is going to be Courtney. Courtney Johnson, right? Or
yeah.
Jones.
Courtney Johnson. Yeah, that's her
Okay.
name.
Out of Houston, Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
And she's doing some great things out there in Houston for
Yeah,
sure.
she is amazing. She is dynamite. She is currently overseeing Madam Lydia's Pope, uh,
Mhm.
why women's in the real estate investment, women's investing in real estate. And so we are headed to San Diego actually on Wednesday for our midwinter conference.
Okay. Now, Madam President Pope was in your area last week, right?
Yeah, she was here to
Yeah.
help celebrate Black history.
Yeah,
And
tell us about that because I wanted to come there so bad, and I told you that. My all intent was to visit there and to meet you in person as well as Madam President Pope. But
yeah,
tell us
she
more
came
about that.
here for our Black history, and also to give us a report on the state of housing and Black America housing report, the Sheba report. We also attended Caldwell Banker wanted, they also was doing an event regarding Black history and wanted her to be able to speak there. And I think that Prosperity Mortgage was doing their open house and wanted her to speak there. So it was an amazing day last week, a full house.
Okay. Okay, we're back. Sorry for that
Yes.
cut off, but it was my fault, you guys. But I'll do better next time to segue our audience into our commercial break. But anyway, let's get back to a little bit more about NAREB. Now, you have a lot of affiliate organizations within NAREB. One of them in particular, Women in Real Estate, The Wire. Is that considered one of the affiliates?
That's not an affiliate.
Mhm.
That is a what would you a pillar that one of the five pillar under Madam Lydia. So the
Okay.
affiliate will be like Women Council, the appraisal department. NID is also one of the affiliates that's part of
Okay.
Women Council. Is the outreach. I serve as the second VP for the Women Council on the National Association of Real Estate Brokers
Oh, wow.
as well. So there are several different affiliates. The young realtors, which is
Yes.
not for young, it's for people that's new in the real estate industry that may want to
Okay.
be a part of the young realtors. So there are several different affiliates.
Yeah, and they also have one I noticed in terms of, is it commercial real estate or specifically commercial?
Yeah, and each local chapel may have a commercial council board. So on ours, we do. So generally, they're the last Wednesday of the month, they will have an event. We have one coming up geared towards Black history as well, which
Mhm.
I'll send you the link. Hopefully, you can maybe come and attend that one as well.
I can make that one. How often do you all meet?
There's a mid Empire Board meets monthly. There's a general membership meet every
Mm-hmm.
third Wednesday of the month. And
Okay.
they are a morning meeting. Breakfast is from 8:30 to 9:30, and then the general membership starts from 9:30 to 11.
Okay.
So yeah, and there could be different things going on all through the month. April is what we call Realtors Week. So there'll be something going all week during Realtor, which will start on the 9th through the 15th. There may be what we call mixers, or there may be lunch and learns that we offer not
Mhm.
only to our agents but to the community as well. That's something that we think that they need to know. We have a legislative division that anything that may be changing in the legislative that may either affect our industry or our community that we want to know, so that agents are what we call boots on the ground. So we
Mhm.
are out there filtering that information as much as possible to make sure that we're educating. But
I see.
NAREB, we have two meetings. One that we meet what is midwinter, which generally either somewhere in February or the beginning of March or late, and then what we call the annual meeting, which is in August or either late July.
And that annual meet, that's the one that they have coming up. Is that San Diego? Is it going to be?
No,
Or
that's the midwinter. That's the midwinter. That's
that's
usually a small one, which is about
okay.
4 days, 3 to 4 days, and then the annual usually is about 5 days.
Okay.
And that will be held in Houston, where at that time the torch will be exchanged, where Madam Lydia will torch it over to Madam Courtney.
To Courtney. Okay. All right. That should be big. Um, we were talking about well, membership. Now, how much is it to
Well,
join?
what in Atlanta, so each board may be various, but if
Mm-hmm.
you are a broker here in Atlanta, it's 275.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a agent, it's 175, and if you are an affiliate, it will be 225. That would be like a insurance company or mortgage company. So you have to remember we're formed up of different people that are in the industry. It could be
Okay.
an inspector, it could be insurance, it could be a financial advisor, it could be a credit specialist. You got your brokers and agents, and your mortgage brokers and lenders and banks. So all of those find a form up based on the organization. We are a Black organization, but we're not limit to whoever wants to join. It's all about making a change in our
Right,
community.
right, right, absolutely. And it doesn't mean too, just because you're a realtist, it doesn't mean that you can't be a realtor. So they can go work together.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am both. I am a realist and a realtor. So I
Okay.
am a member of both boards.
Yeah. And
Actually, I'm three boards.
three board.
Yeah,
Okay.
and NAR board as well. So I am, it's about partnership and helping each
Mhm.
other to make a difference in our community.
Yeah, I saw something during the research too, where Madam President Pope was doing a webinar or some sort of a podcast, and she was talking to someone from NAR. A very, very interesting podcast she was doing, but it was a person from NAR National that had her on to share some information, because the
Yes, because
data, I guess the data there, the data can pretty much almost not necessarily be the same, because the membership numbers are different, but the facts are the facts in terms of what's going on in the markets, right?
yes. Well, right now it's all still about partnership for us to change because we serve all our clients, whether
Hmm.
they're African American or Asian or Caucasian. It's still about serving our client because if I get a Caucasian client, I'm not sending them over to the realtor. I'm going to serve them to the best of my ability to make sure that I can give them the best that I have to offer.
Hmm.
And so the thing is that right now, the difference right now is our community is that we want to reach above that 50% goal when it comes to home ownership. And that's where it's liking. And so we are partnering with all the different boards to make a difference to help move that lever over past 50%.
Yeah, because yeah, that number, I understand, is it was that way back in when fair housing passed. It was that number in the 40 percentile
Right?
range, and that number is still in the 40 percentile range. So yes, we've got to boots on the ground to try to change that, right?
Yeah. And the highest it ever got was in, like in 2019, it started to move up, but then it's always fell back down. And
Yeah.
I truly believe that's the lack of education in our community. We
Hmm.
still believe that, that we need 20% down. We still believe that you got to have a 700 credit score. There's these different beliefs that's in our community, these different myths that has to be broken to say, yes, you can go into home ownership. We have to understand that we have to change our mindset, that we have to understand that society is credit driven, that we must maintain a good credit. We must maintain a savings. So
Hmm.
these are the things that we want to continue to educate our community. And that's what realtors are doing. We're boots on the ground, running in our community. We're taking our community back. We do not want, we understand that high rent is increasing. So we do not want our people to be homeless. We
Hmm.
want to make sure if they want home ownership, we want them to have that dream too. And whatever it takes for us to do that, that's what we're doing. That's why we're providing free homeowners education classes. We provide financial literacy classes. So we're partnering with different sponsors that helping us go out into the community to do so.
Okay, great job. Now, membership in NAREB, I think I hear it's about 5,000. Is that correct? 5,000 plus?
Yes, it's,
The-
it's probably 5,000 plus members.
Mhm. Okay. So yeah, we can begin to continue to work on that according to Madam Pope. How many chapters are across the country?
I'm not quite sure the total number of the chapters across because there are so many new chapters being formed.
Mhm.
And to give you that number, I probably will be off. I know that just now there's two new ones being formed. And I think she told us here that there will be either 10 new chapters that will be granted in at the conference.
Is that right?
So that's applaud that we are steady trying to form new chapters. Even though Empire Board has been formed since 1939, we find right here in Atlanta that a lot of people still don't know who Empire Board is. So if they don't know who Empire Board, they don't know who NAREB is. So our job is to try to make them know who NAREB is, who Empire Board is, and all the other chapters in the other states so that they can join to be a part of this mission to make home ownership an opportunity for as many whoever wants to own a home.
Now, the Empire Board is in Region 6, and Savannah is Region 6. What other states are Region 6?
That would be Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
Florida, and Georgia.
Okay, so Alabama, Florida, and Georgia make up Region 6. And
Yeah,
Region 6 does have its own leadership. Um, and what is his name?
Travis Brooks.
Travis Brooks. Okay.
Yeah, they are called RVPs,
Hmm.
and Travis Brooks is our RVP, and he's out of Florida.
Okay.
So he is the one to help us try to start new chapters in this region, and to
Mhm.
also help those presidents that maybe new to keep their chapters growing, to get membership growing, that whatever we need to do to make sure that the chapter is healthy. That's part of his job.
Well, I would imagine he'll be in Savannah soon because I understand from my broker at Scott Realty Professionals, my broker is Sabria Scott. Now, Sabria indicates that she's going to be a vice president of the Savannah chapter. Ronald Carswell right now is the president, and she will be an upcoming vice president of our local chapter, which Savannah is going to be trying to revamp and get everybody going in Savannah, get our real estate agents going in Savannah, whether they were realtors or real estate agents or already realtors, if they're kind of fell by the wayside. We want to get everybody back active. And I am certain Sabria is going to be jump boots on the ground. I know she'll be boots on the ground, making sure that happens here in Savannah. But
Yes.
it's my understanding March is when we're going to be doing a kickoff. Is that like the month that membership nationwide occurs?
Well, it just depends on each chapter's bylaws and constitution. Ours is probably similar to theirs, which if you are a member, your membership is good up until 30th of March. So truly we'll be doing a membership drive, and that may be the same thing that they're doing, uh, and celebrating International Women's Month. And so a lot will be going on in March.
Okay. Well, we're going to take Okay, we're back from the commercial. Madam President Emerson, tell me if there are any, if somebody's like on the fence about joining, uh, becoming a realtist, what would you say to that person?
They on the fence. It's something that has to be in your DNA. If you want to change the community, you want to change your community, then this would be one of the boards you would want to be a part of. The mission started back in 1939, was about making a change and a difference for our community, and it haven't stopped now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be a part of realtors. I am too, but our realtors have a realtor spirit about making a change and a difference in our community. Empire Board was here before I was even born. They were
Mhm.
fighting in to make a difference. I was blessed to be able to be the president for the next 2 years. And I know that I was put here for a reason, and that was to change the community, to go back to our community. Let's say,
Mhm.
be the village, be a part of the village. So if you
Mhm.
want to be a part of the village, then you need to find a realtors in your area so that you can put some of your asset and your skill to make a difference. So it take a village to make a change. We are starting from financial literacy with our youth, our kids. So we got schools. The Empire Board is one of the boards that have our own schools as well. So we
Mhm.
want to make a challenge to those that are realtors to also come on board to help us make a difference. It only take a little of your time. With a team, we can make a difference. One, I
Absolutely.
can't do it by myself, but we are the first all women's team at Empire Board
Mm.
ever since the 84 years. They've never had an all women's team, but now we are here, so we are showing up to show out, and we truly want to leave something left behind to say we made a difference while we was here. So the next people that come on, they would just take the rim and keep on going, making a difference in our community, making sure that we have fair housing, making sure that we are housed and not unhoused, that
Mhm.
that we have a bank account, that we're not unbanked. So much is going on that there's so many needs need to be met, and my mission is many hands for one mission, and that's democracy and housing. So I need those many hands to help us move this mission on the road. So I encourage each and every one to come and join.
Come and join. And with that in mind, and I got to say, I haven't been a member, but my intent when we get that membership drive, I'll be one of the first to become a realtist, a bona fide realtist. Got to do it. No questions
That's it.
about it. Yeah.
And you have become part of the realtors family.
Absolutely, no question about it. Now, you spoke a little bit going back to that history. It's a trade organization. I read that it was a National Business League that they started first through Booker T. Washington, and then it evolved into the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Um, in terms of that history, trade organization, I understand it's the largest Black trade organization. Is that correct?
Actually, and it is the oldest and the only oldest Black trade organization still left.
Oh, wow.
Some that were formed prior to it have, either disbanded or not functioning as like
Mhm.
the Empire Board is.
Wow. Fabulous. And speaking of that, because you said speaking of oldest, we gotta talk about your Mr. Roby.
Mr.
His
Roby,
first name? What's his first name?
Mr. William T. Roby.
Mr. William T. Roby. You have got to
He,
tell us about Mr. Roby,
he
who is
is
now 100, how many years old?
103 years
Okay.
old.
Tell us about this 103-year
I,
dynamic.
what is he is empire. Mr. Roby is empire. He loves it. He sleep it. He eats it. If you ever talk to his kid, that's all that he know. We just celebrated his birthday the end of January, and they celebrated with his frat brothers at the McDonald that treated him, and
Mhm.
that's all he talks about is Empire Board and NAREB.
Mhm.
Mr. Roby is the oldest realtist in the world,
The
and
oldest in the world.
but there is one right behind them, and I think they're like 3 or 4 days behind each other.
Get out
But
of here.
he still wears that hat, and he loves it, and he cherishes it. He has yet to become a realtor.
Mm.
They have offered many
Oh,
times, but he's yet to accept to become a realtor
he
because
is
of
a
the
bona
fact
fide
that,
realist.
yeah, he refused to accept that I don't know if he will ever before he pass away, but right now he still have not accepted their offer because at one time they refused to allow him to become a realtor, and
Mhm.
now at this time he still
Yeah.
have not accepted the hand offer.
Well, I would suggest to the audience if they get an opportunity to go to NAREB's website and check out the video. Talks a little bit about the history, and there's some footage there of Mr. Roby having conversation about what was going on and what led up to this, that, and the other, and the drive of the Empire Board. Very, very moving, very moving. And what a blessing. He's still around to somewhat tell the story. Oh, I thought you had another comment about that. But
No, he is up and running. He is still going.
okay.
He's vibrant, and anybody that comes there, if you young and you look like you go say real estate, he gonna tell you you need to go join the Empire. Because I think our past president, Atlanta, have set uh, marks even on the national level. They
Mm-hmm.
served uh, 7 presidents came from Atlanta to serve on the national level. And even on the women council side, we carry the torch for presidents, the high number of presidents to serve on a national level. As you know,
Wow.
I'm on the line. I don't know what may happen in the next couple of years, whether I will be president of the Women Council on the National Association, but
Okay.
currently I serve as the second VP.
And that's a
So
good thing too. Tell the audience too, and particularly our real estate agents or realtors that are listening, uh, what type of stepping stones it can be through this organization.
there are so many stepping stones that you can place. You have president of YRD. There's a national president. There's a president of REMLY. The Women Council. So there's a route for everyone. Women
Mm-hmm.
Council is the outreach. So we are all about serving the community, making a difference for the youth, for the millennials, for family in need, for the elders, whatever it needs. Empire or NAREB has it. So there's an exit route for each and every one of us. If you want to serve, you have it in your DNA to serve in your community. You need to come over and be a part of and see what we have going on and allow yourself to be a part of what we're doing, part of the mission, making a difference.
And like you said earlier, you can be not just a real estate agent or realtor, you can be an appraiser, be a mortgage lender, a variety of practices can be a part of National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Is that right?
Yeah, people that's really not in them, or you got people that decorate homes that
Mm,
are part of NARAB. You've got people that are subscribers that just want to be part of the journey and the mission that
mm,
they just pay as subscription members. So it's up to what you want to be, and you can always come out and be a part of it.
okay. Well, I know one thing looking at your journal from the annual last year. That journal was 186 pages. It was full of, but the thing about it, which was, it was full of people that supported the organization. Most majority of ads. That means you have a lot of people that support NAREB.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. We have people that's been to every conference there ever been. You got, from banks to love coming to NARAB to
Mhm.
enjoy to celebrate the history of it, to be able to mix and mingle, to network and help. And it's just that network of families. So if you have a listing, somebody referring someone from one state to another, that they
Mhm.
know that they can refer that person, they're going to be well taken care of, and it's no problem, no issue. You just saying I can locate someone in Atlanta that's going to take care of my client and make sure the same way I would do them if they was in California. So that is all about the realtor spirit.
Yeah, and that was one of the things my broker mentioned to me. It's a large network of referrals, large network, and willing network of referrals too.
Yeah, and it have always been. Like I said, when just how I came to Empire Board was I did uh, a sale with another agent.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was only 23 years old. And she took me under her wings as my mentor and said that you needed to come and be a part of all this. And she said, I want to make sure that you understand this journey of where you are and why you need to be a part of it. Because at that time, I was only a realtor. I didn't even know NAREB existed. And she was the one that educated me, and that was Miss Dot Kelly,
Okay.
and she served as one of the past president of the Empire Board, and she was part of Women Council. So she was part of helping me move up to where I'm at now.
Great, great. And so the activity coming up in April is Realtors Week.
We have our activity for the month of March, which is going to be celebrating International Women's Month.
Mm-hmm.
We have a mixer in March. We have a lunch and learn in March, and then we'll be setting up for Realtors Week, which will be in April. And that is, we have legislative, we have fair housing, we have community day, we have church day, we have all of those the whole week. We have a 5K kickoff from Run for Democracy and Housing that would be done on that Saturday, the 8th. So we have a full week, and then we will turn around and have a general membership meeting the following Wednesday, something that push and inspire agents to make them better, and then we'll still continue to roll. So there's always something going on at Empire Board or NAREB. You can rest assured there's a webinar, if it's the Sheba report or the Wire report or something, UDC, which is all about development. If someone even want to go into learning and understand the developing property, we have that division. So there's
Mhm.
always something to help someone to further themselves in the real estate industry.
And we got to reiterate and mention it that the motto for NAREB is democracy and housing.
Democracy and housing,
Mhm.
all day, every day.
That is the credo, democracy and housing.
So if you want a home, we want it for you, and we want to make sure that you have a chance to have the dream of home ownership.
And one more thing, I understand you gave when you became president, Madam President of the Empire Board, you have your credo as well. What is it?
That's many hands, one mission, democracy in housing.
Fabulous,
Yeah.
fabulous, fabulous.
So I need those hands.
Well, again, we're gonna in Savannah. We've got to gear up, and like I said, we've got a membership drive coming up in March. Is planned for Savannah, so we may have to reach out to you and get some, you know, motivation, further motivation, and some
That's
advice.
what we do.
And
We motivate each other.
yes, 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 yes. And I got to tell you, thank you so much for agreeing to come on here today and talk to the audience. It was a time trying to get uh, the Empire Board before, but when you became president, no problem. So I really thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
being so
you're so
gracious.
I
And
thank you for having me. I thank you for taking the time to hunt me down to get me here so that we could, but we want the Savannah board to be thriving. We want it out because we want those in those areas to not miss out on what all we have going on so that we can engage them and they can engage the community in Savannah.
great, great. Well, thank you so much, Madam Archie Emerson, for joining us on Lens on Real Estate today. And we look forward to good working together with you and doing good things. Democracy and housing it is.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So that's it for Lens on Real Estate today. We're going to be looking to see our audience next week. We've got another great show planned for you next week. And if you're interested in real estate, then go to our website. The website, you can go to the Scott Realty, www.scottrealtyprofessionals website, or you can go to www.realestatediann.com. Both of those websites, you can see current listings of homes that are actively seeking buyers in Savannah, Georgia. So please do that, and we're happy to serve you. Again, this is Lynn's on Real Estate, and we'll see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Bye-bye.
like that.